prices still up? Are interest rates increasing? How are we doing in 2018? It's The Real Estate Show. Welcome to The Real Estate Show. My name's Rick Naples, owner, broker of Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. Markets. Everyone's always talking about the real estate markets. And as I've said earlier, what do you believe? You read one article and it says the market is up. You read another article, it says the market is down. There's opinions out there that say we're heading towards another housing bust. We hear that interest rates have gone up. We hear that home prices are starting to rise. We hear that home inventory, the number of houses for sale, are less. Yet we hear that there's more buyers out there. What do you believe with all this information that's out there? Well, you have to keep in mind that real estate, as they say, is local. Every market area is different. The National Association of Realtors puts out a report, and we've ended the first quarter of 2018. So, of course, there's going to be numbers coming out that are going to tell us how we're doing. But those numbers are national. Our State Realtors Association puts out the local numbers as far as what the state's going to do. But as you know, if you live in the state that we're in, the state of Connecticut, it's much, much different than it is, say, in Harford County than Fairfield County and other counties as you go around the state. Again, as I've said, real estate is very local. When you're looking to put your house on the market, you need to pay attention as to what's going on around you. It's not necessarily the timing that's important unless there's a life situation that controls it. It's what are the buyers going to pay for the home based on the present market conditions. Now, as I said, home prices are starting to creep up a little bit, but as we've seen in our state, they're a little bit higher in some areas than they are in others. And of course, the dreaded property tax is another thing you need to pay attention to. You might be able to get more square footage in one town because the taxes are less compared to a town that has high property taxes where you have to buy a smaller home in order to stay within the right kind of mortgage payment that you want to be in. Let's take a break and look at this little presentation I put together on just some helpful hints when it comes to buying a property. I've mentioned on the real estate show several times about making offers on a home. And right now we're in a situation where we have lower inventories. In other words, there isn't a lot of houses out there to choose from. So if you're a buyer looking to buy a home, you can find yourself in a situation where you might have other offers against the property that you wish to buy. We call this a multiple offer situation. Now, how do you make your offer more appealing? Surprisingly enough, it's not by price. You may be offering more than what the seller's asking, but there might be something in the structure of that offer that makes the seller not go with your offer and take a lower offer. One of those things could be the way that your mortgage is going to be set up. And I've mentioned the pre-qualification and the pre-approval and the differences. You know, when you're making an offer on a home, you want to go in as strong as you possibly can. You want to show a commitment through your offer to the seller that you're going to be able to get all the way to a closing. So a pre-approval carries a lot of weight. Very easy to get pre-qualified. The difference is a pre-qualification, you're just making a phone call and giving information or typing it into the computer, and it's spitting out a guesstimate or what it thinks based on your information, what you might qualify for, but it doesn't say you're going to get that mortgage. Pre-approval, on the other hand, means that you've met with your mortgage lender, they've done their due diligence, they've run your credit, they've looked at your income, and they've come up with an amount or a mortgage amount that you can get when you're purchasing a home. It's a more solid number. If I'm a seller and I have two offers in front of me, and the offers are exactly the same price offer, same terms offer, same kind of mortgage, there's really no difference between the two contracts as far as what their face value is, but one came to me with a pre-approval letter attached, the other came with a pre-qualification. I might lean towards the pre-approval because I have more confidence that that's the offer that's going to make it to a successful closing. Let's sit back and watch this little presentation. I'll be back to talk about something that's very important. In today's world, we need to be very conscious about safety. And from time to time here on the Real Estate Show, I've shown the safety video that the National Association of Realtors had produced that basically explains some of the safety techniques that a realtor may take in order to protect themselves. You know, in real estate, as well as for buyers and sellers, a lot of times you're in a first-time meeting situation. You don't know the person that you're meeting. And realtors tend to meet a lot of people throughout their day, week, and months that they've never met before in a situation they've never been in before. So there are certain safety precautions that you, a buyer, need to take, that the realtor needs to take, and that the seller needs to take. As a buyer, you kind of want to know what you're looking for and where you're going. I highly recommend that you work with a realtor, because the realtor is going to get the information on the property that you wish to go see and accompany you on that visit. Don't ever take it upon yourself to go walking around the property without a realtor present. You know, we get a lot of foreclosures out there, and the houses have no one in them, and you see that foreclosure sign out front, and it's for sale, and you kind of feel that you have the right to go walking around that property on your own. Don't do that. That's something that's called trespassing. You need to have permission to be there. You can't just go poking through the property on your own. And the best way to do that, of course, is to work with a realtor who's going to schedule a legal showing on the property and accompany you to the property. The realtors themselves are going to take some safety precautions, and as you saw in the video, or the video I'm going to show, it tells you pretty much what the realtors are going to do to protect themselves when they're meeting people. And then the sellers, they also need to take some precautions. You know, a lot of sellers put their house on the market and they forget, as hard as it seems, that their home has now become a product. It's a product for sale. And they need to be in the mind frame that it's now a product. It's no longer a home. So they've got to take certain precautions. Let's take a look at the safety video that NAR put out.
Real estate professionals are in a unique position that most working professionals never face. They often share their contact information openly with others, meet unknown clients, and walk through vacant properties, to name a few. It's because of the unique nature of this business that it's critical for all real estate professionals to have a personal safety protocol in place that they follow every day, with every client, every time. And that includes with you. So, what kind of safety protocols might your real estate agent take? When meeting you for the first time, your agent might not meet you at the property right away without first having an initial meeting at the office, regardless of you or your agent's gender. You wouldn't want to meet a stranger at an unknown location, would you?
Hey, how you doing?
No. During the initial meeting, your agent may make copies of your driver's license and pre-approval letter for their records. This precaution allows the agent to keep a record at the office of who his or her clients are and a calendar of appointments. When first meeting with your agent, you'll also discuss the types of real estate you're interested in and walk you through the process. Now your agent can arrange showings, meet you at properties, and schedule open houses to help you through the biggest financial decision of your life. When viewing a property, your agent may ask that you drive separately. Please don't be offended. This is a safety precaution for you as much as it is for your agent. Not to mention you may both have appointments to go to afterward.
Hey, this is cute.
When viewing a property, you may need to sign in with your name and phone number or show a photo ID. This is so the seller's agent knows who entered the house. If you were opening your home to strangers, you'd want to know who was there too. As you tour a property, your agent may walk behind you. This is not only a routine safety measure, it also allows you to see the room first and make your own impressions. And many agents won't go into attics, garages, or basements, but feel free to look around and let your agent know what you thought. If you want to see a property that's vacant,
It's got potential.
your agent may only show it during daylight hours. Vacant properties should be seen during the day when you can see what safety hazards may exist, like a loose floorboard or any defects the house may have, like mold. When showing your property or hosting an open house, before opening your home to potential buyers, your agent may ask you to board your pets and remove jewelry, family photos, credit card receipts, artwork, prescription drugs, and valued possessions from the home. This is just one way your agent is looking out for you to keep your property and belongings secure. Your agent may bring a colleague to host your open house. If there are several potential buyers walking through the home, even better to have two agents on hand to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Safety is an important part of real estate, and we appreciate you respecting the protocols and processes that have been put into place to keep you and your agent safe.
I was once asked, is there a difference between putting a home on the market compared to putting a condominium on the market? Well, the answer to that, truthfully, is yes, there is a difference. It's not necessarily in the marketing or the kind of buyer that you're going to find, even though the buyer for a residential home and a condo may be a different type of buyer, but it's the way that it's going to be marketed. When you're dealing with condominiums, you have another set of rules or regulations that you have to be aware of, and that is whatever the bylaws or the rules of the condominium association are. A lot of people may have a situation where they have a specific home need, and even though a condo seems to be appealing because there's less maintenance than there is with a residential home, it might not fit their particular lifestyle. A perfect example is dogs. You buy a home, you can have a dog or 2 dogs or 3 dogs or whatever you're going to have, as long as you're able to take care of them. In a condominium, there may be limitations on a dog as far as size is concerned, or the condo association may not allow dogs at all, just like in a rental. In a residential home, you have additional expenses that you have to consider. You need a lawnmower to mow the grass. You got to trim the bushes. The house is going to need painting. You got to be aware of the roof, the furnace, and so on and so forth. In a condominium, anything outside the walls of your condominium are the association's responsibility and not yours. Now the trade-off is, people say to me all the time, well, isn't it cheaper to live in a condominium than it is a residential home? Not necessarily, because you have to remember, when you're in a condo, you are going to pay an association fee, and that fee goes towards all those outside things that the condo association has to take care of. So once you add that fee to your monthly mortgage payment, you may find that you're around the same place you would have been if you bought a residential home. There's all kinds of schools of thought, and I've kind of been talking in this show about the real estate market in general. Is it up, down, sideways? Are we even? Are we doing better? Are we doing worse? There's so many questions out there. And if you hit the internet and you start reading all the different articles, one of the things that you should do is look at who's writing the article. Is it a realtor in a very local area that's writing about their local market? Or is it somebody on a national level that's talking in general about the market? You look at the numbers and the statistics, and what you're trying to do in reading all this information is you're trying to decide, is now the time to buy a house or is now the time to sell a house? It can get very confusing. Well, it's not your job. You have other things to do. You have a life to live. It's the realtor's job to help you and guide you through the real estate transaction and make the decision as to whether or not you're going to put a house on the market, or whether you're going to buy a house. There's all kinds of motivations out there as far as why people buy and why people sell. As I said, the biggest motivation is a life change. There's someone new that's come into the family, or left the family, or the family situation has shifted, or work situation has shifted. There's a motivation to buy. And it's the same kind of thing for the seller. Houses are always going to be up for sale. We're always going to see houses up for sale. That's just part of what the real estate market is. But how many come on the market and how many actually sell is going to depend. I read an article recently that says we're heading towards another housing bust. I take that a little bit in stride. Interest rates are going up, housing prices are going up, incomes are not going up fast, but they've been steady, and we seem to have settled down. I read all kinds of stuff on the economy. I hear it's good, I hear it's bad, I hear indifference. Again, depends on what your motivation is. Talk to your local realtor, talk to a realtor when it comes time to put your house on the market or to buy a house, because they're the ones that are in the business. They're the ones that are reading all the articles, talking to other realtors and finding out information. So that's usually the best way to go. Let's look at this quick little presentation, and I'll be back with something I call the real estate mailbag. This is the portion of the real estate show I call the real estate mailbag. Now, this is my opportunity to address questions that are sent to me here at the real estate show, questions that come up in everyday conversation. It's also my opportunity to just make a commentary on the overall subject of the show or comment on something that I've heard or come across. Realtors get together. They have conventions that they go to. They have meetings that they go to, whether it's their office that's having a meeting or the state association or even their local board of realtors. They have the opportunity, no matter what company they're with, to talk to other realtors. When you're sitting around a table with fellow realtors, the most common question that comes up is the same question the consumer asks. What is the market doing? Are you busy? Are you not busy? What are you seeing out there? And you get all kinds of different information. You may have a realtor say, the market's great, I've been really busy, it's hard for me to keep up. You may have another saying, I'm not busy enough. It's just like the articles you read on the internet from the different authors and different sources. Everyone has an opinion. The opinions are based on their experiences or statistical information they're looking at. Again, you need to take all the information you possibly can get your hands on, talk to the realtor, and find out what's going on in your area to make a decision that's going to work for you and everyone else that's involved. My name is Rick Naples. This is the Real Estate Show. I'm the broker-owner of Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.